here today with Fred Block from the University of California, Davis, Department of Sociology. We're here to talk about his new book, State of Innovation, the Role of U.S. Government in Technology Development. Fred, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, you live in a country where people act as though markets in the state are oil and water, that somehow governments don't play a role, and that has always appeared to me to be kind of a fiction. But
Absolutely.
you're actually taking it to a different place. You're saying the government's role in fostering R&D, innovation and development, is an essential ingredient in the success of our economy.
Absolutely, and that's the main reason that I did this book, was to challenge this kind of view that is extremely widespread, that all we have to do for economic prosperity is get the government off people's backs and let the private market economy do its magic. And when one looks at the actual history of the last 50 years, even longer, one finds a very different story altogether, that it's critically obvious with the computer industry, with biotechnology, two of the sectors where the U.S. has been a leading force, that the government's role in funding research, in building networks that brought together entrepreneurs and innovations, nurtured small firms, all of this was extremely important in the emergence of these industries. And the story that we're trying to tell is that in the 1980s, during the era of Ronald Reagan, at the same time that Reagan was saying that government is the problem, not the solution, the U.S. began a series of initiatives which were essentially designed to take technology development technologies that had been developed in the Department of Defense, critically this agency called the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, that had played the absolutely central role in the development of the computer industry. The internet began as the DARPA net, then became the NSF net, and then was finally the internet. What happened in the 1980s was a systematic effort to use those technologies that had begun in the military sector and spread them out across a whole series of government agencies, including civilian government agencies. And what those technologies were a set of methods by which people working in government agencies solicited input from the private sector, identified technological barriers that had to be overcome, financed research groups, when breakthroughs happened, connected the people who made those breakthroughs with venture capitalists who could fund them, helped solve their problems so they could bring their new technologies to the marketplace. So the argument is that we have in the U.S. an extremely elaborate set of institutions designed to support and accelerate the commercialization of new technologies that's very much rooted in the public sector, in these government agencies, in the federal laboratories, in university laboratories that are funded by the federal government.